Welcome to E4 Electric, your number one source of what's happening now in the world of electric cars. Today I got some more exciting news about the new Nissan Leaf. The new range upgrade has been leaked for 2019, so we already have that conversation going actually right here. So catch up. Also, Norway is in the news again. They have some exciting stuff that's happening. Also just featured them in one of my videos, and I have two comments of the day, so this should be exciting. Let's get going right now. All right, so we are talking about Nissan Leaf. Before that, if this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. If you're interested in staying up to date with what's happening in the universe of electric cars, I think you came to the right place. So please consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification icon down there so you can join our community. All right. Nissan Leaf, we just talked about it because Nissan Leaf sales have started in the United States. As you know, guys, I believe this is one of the most improved cars of the year. I think well, first of all, let's face it, they're the most sold electric car in the world right now. Of course, they started early in 2011, so kudos to them for that. But also, I've been a critic of them at the same time as being pretty impressed with what they've done with their new refresh. Of course, the lack of thermal management system is a big problem because, battery degradation is like #1 concern really at this point with electric cars. And of course, the range. I like the new range, 151 miles, but I still thought that really, it was acceptable, but the real range starts at 200. And they did promise an upgrade. We kind of expected it sometime into this year, but the way things work right now, most of the stuff gets leaked before it ever officially announced, and so this was not an exception. It looks like the new range has been leaked and it's 225 miles, and this is going to be for 2019 version of the Nissan Leaf. Now this is not official, but it looks like there are some documents that are already out there. So, and this will definitely put Nissan Leaf in right there in the mix with all of these cars that are also coming out this year. It looks like the price will probably be starting at around 35,000, but could be also closer to 38 because that's where the Chevy Bolt starts. Now, I already see a huge discussion going on here and everyone joining in. Gregory Bell says in New Zealand here we have our first 2019 Nissan Leaf imported from Japan. Unfortunately, it's $60,000. Something similar is happening here with Model 3. I think they're being sold right now for $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 as well. I think competitors will probably be buying those. Yeah, guys, this is something I'm telling you. Nissan Leaf is going to be an ongoing story this year, and I believe it's definitely worth taking a look at it. Though some of your comments were pro and con, some of you are on this side and another side of Nissan Leaf. But regardless of that, I think this is pretty exciting, and I know a lot of you are talking about Renault Zoe in the chat room right now because that is also going to be the direct competitor for the Nissan Leaf in Europe. And by the way, as I mentioned before, they're claiming that they have over 10,000 reservations already in Europe for that. And we're going to talk about numbers when we get to the comment of the day. Of course, briefly, let me mention that this channel and this video is sponsored by Evanex, the aftermarket accessories for Tesla, and I have a discount code in the description of this video. You know what else I have in the description of this video is the link to the t-shirt that I wore yesterday. You guys had some comments about that. I have some other t-shirts that you want to check out. I think they're funny. All right, let's move on briefly and talk about Norway. The flag that you guys probably didn't recognize only maybe a year ago, at least here in the United States. We're not really good with geography and other country stuff, but this is Norway's flag, and I just featured them in my eWords video. It was the most EV-friendly country that I've determined in 2017. And it's early in 2018 and they're already in the news again. Apparently the December sales are in, and for the first time ever in any country, a month worth of sales has more electric cars sold than gas cars sold. So 52% in Norway were out of all the car sales, either electric cars or hybrids. Now this is a huge milestone, guys. I mean, just let me just repeat this for a second, right? in one country, an entire country, in 1 month, more people bought electric cars and hybrid cars than they bought gas cars. I think this, we should all take a second. I can say it for the third time, but well, you guys can just go to replay. But I think this is a big deal. Kudos to them. They're doing something right. You know, they're yes, let's just be fair. They are a country that exports a lot of gas. You know, a lot of the subsidies that they are kind of funding the electric car movement come from their oil burning somewhere else in other countries. But just, you know, you guys got to understand, this whole thing does not happen overnight. Same criticism of, you know, well, Tesla delivery truck, the trucks that deliver stuff to Tesla factories, and the factory itself, you know, is all gas. Baby steps, guys, and this is actually a huge baby step, and I think this is a big deal. All right, so by the way, let me mention, if you want to support the show, of course, you can go in the description of this video and support me on Patreon. Some exclusive behind-the-scene footage, exclusive reporting, and a lot of other fun stuff. All right, so let's get comment of the day. Tony says, in the chat room says, Norway is leading the charge. I love it. Absolutely, me too. It's just exciting that, you know, there's a country that's kind of leading the way. There are other countries, including China and the United States, that are doing the same. Let's see, just a lot of people watching from around the world. I'm just kind of going through the chat room. Gregory says, China is one of the few countries that can do the change, as they have one leader and one government party. That's actually, there's something to it. I read your comment at first. I was like, I don't know if I want to talk politics. This is really not politics. This is true, you know, because China, if they decide to have a policy, which they do have a very friendly policy to green energy, and they can just implement it without, you know, other parties and other interests kind of getting on the way. So that's where the one-party system, I guess, works pretty good. Isaac in the chat room talking about Norway says, it's ironic that Norway's main profit comes from petroleum. That is true, and just like I said, a lot of their subsidies for electric cars come from their own oil burning in other countries. But just like I said, you guys, it has to start somewhere. Still very impressive. He says New Zealand's energy source is 90% renewable energy, and there is nearly zero incentives for electric vehicles. That's a shame. All right, guys, before I get too much further, the first comment comes from somewhat of a critic, a fan, I guess, and a critic of the channel. Evie Patty says, sorry, but what you're saying doesn't make sense. Commenting about my video yesterday, I believe electric cars would have died without Tesla. The Leaf isn't good enough. Still, it's the most sold EV in the world. Doesn't add up. Maybe price matters too. So he's referring to my comment from yesterday, I believe, and I said that the Nissan Leaf would have killed the electric car movement if it wasn't for Tesla. Now, the reason I say that is because I think it's true. Now, let's first of all be very clear. They sold almost 300,000 units worldwide, which is a record. Most cars sold, most electric car model sold in the world. They also started early. They took a gamble, right? It wasn't required. It was like they really took a gamble. So kudos for them for that. But here's what I'm saying. Don't forget that at best, in one single year, they sold, I believe it was 2014, they sold 30,000 of these cars. Now, they're down from that to almost like 10,000 this year, and I think it was maybe 12 or 14 last year. So you guys have to understand that if this car, a lot of people who bought this car were just like kind of a tree huggers like myself, enthusiasts that just say, listen, I'm going to do this for the environment. I don't care about anything else. So they weren't really buying a car. They were buying a concept and sort of buying into their own beliefs, like myself, and they didn't care. So there were a lot of those, right? There were also, don't forget, this car was so poorly sold that they kept, you know, decreasing the price, and with even all of the incentives, you can literally walk into Nissan dealership and they would have almost given this car to you for free. No money down. I think at some point it was like $99 or $149 a month. So that was just a financial decision for people who say, okay, well, I'll give it a shot, right? But on the other hand, here it is. It wasn't a good-looking car. It was definitely easy to pick out from traffic, saying, oh, that's a compliance car. See, there goes electric car. The range was bad to start with, just not very practical, and it went downhill because they didn't have an active thermal system, so the battery degradation started pretty quick, and a lot of people ended up with 40-50 mile range in some cases. So that's not good. You know, don't forget, cars like even Nissan Rogue, Toyota Corolla, they send tens of thousands of units per month. And Nissan managed, I think at best, to sell 3,000 or 4,000 in their best month in what, 8 years of its existence. That's really bad. That just, consumers are telling you that we're not interested in buying this car. Much like we're buying well, actually, like we buy a regular car. So don't forget, Nissan did this Nissan Leaf was not a success. It was failure. And now that more and more electric cars are coming in, their sales are down to like what, 800 units per month, which is like, I think me and you can sell 800 units of anything really. Of course, with a new Leaf, I believe that the sales will pick up. It will be record sales for them. But this is the reason I'm saying that previous Nissan Leaf would have just completely killed it for everybody. Farid says, I don't understand with look and feel of the Nissan is so ugly. I will not be more expensive. It will not be more expensive. I'm not really sure I understand your comment. The new one is actually not ugly at all. I think this is actually a pretty good looking car, at least an average car. Yes, we do have a very strange sense of style, EV Patty says. So this is the reason I believe that, Nissan Leaf by itself would have killed the whole movement, because nobody else really bought this car except for very few people. It is only because over 8 years of their existence, they've sold 300,000 cars. It's just more than anybody else, because not that many people jumped into the game, right? Tesla was really the only one, and Bolt is the only other competitor. Okay, Renault Zoe, but just, they will get beat very soon if though I think with the new look they will do much better. So I hope this makes sense. I hope I answer your question, but thank you for the comment. I do appreciate comments that are not necessarily the same as my opinion, but it gives me a chance to sort of give both sides of the story and sort of defend or maybe explain my opinion as well. So thank you so much for that. Okay, let's get to the second comment of the day, because it's also a good one. Peter, first time poster, I believe, thank you for that, says, I feel you overstate the need for installing a charger at home. And then he goes on for a lot of examples on how he handles his charging. He charges sometimes at work, sometimes at the superchargers, sometimes at just different locations for the destination superchargers, and it works for him. And Peter is a good example of people who just make it work. But here's the reason why I believe people have to have home chargers in order to enjoy electric cars, because let's face it, nobody likes spending time at the gas station, right? Not because it smells bad or what, just because it's time out of your day. You have to find one, maybe stand in line, gas it, pay for it. It's just inconvenience. When you plug the electric car in, boom, it's 3 seconds, you're out of there. In the morning, it's full tank, right? So that's convenient. But if you have to once again go back to hunting or replanning your day or trying to figure out where you're going to charge and for how long and so forth, now this problem of gas stations comes back and in an even worse type of a way, because now it's not at home, it's not on any specific location that's guaranteed for you. If you're sick, you're not going to make it to work. If you change your jobs, maybe your new office doesn't have chargers. The superchargers for Tesla should not be counted on. They're originally designed for travelers. And Tesla is now cracking down on those who just charge it on a daily basis, just, and it's also free. It's probably going to be cracked down upon even more. And so it is really essential for people who want to just own a good, convenient car, whether it's electric or not. It's important for them not to have to worry about where they're going to be getting fuel for that car. So this is why I can't overstate enough that if you're going to get an electric car, I would really strongly suggest that you have a charger at home. All right, so lots of stuff to talk about. I was going to do some previews of the CES because there's some exciting things going on at CES. I will try to do it tomorrow and maybe the day after. Definitely want to dedicate, my Saturday broadcast to it. My Saturday broadcast is going to be the last one before I go to Vegas for the media days and the CES itself. I will live stream. I will bring a lot of footage along. It's going to be a lot of fun. Lots of exciting things going on at the CES, and I'm going to try to bring it to you guys as much as I can. All right, well, this has been another exciting, and I'm always trying to stay within 10 minutes, but I can never do that. But thank you guys for participating, and once again, don't forget, I'll be here at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Hope to see you all soon. Thank you for your comments, and remember to stay charged.